What I have in front of me is a build for those who cannot afford something like Guardian Soul, Absolute Glare, Vet 5, Crack 5, or some god tier unit that will cost hundreds of recycle badges, millions, hundreds of millions of Meseta, and lots of time spent, and lots of brain cells wasted from cursing at doo because your father keeps failing. Quick disclaimer though, there are definitely changes a person can make to this build, or maybe swapping out or taking out something to better suit their needs. As you can see, this budget build can still provide stats almost, or quite close, to what a Guardian Soul God unit can give. Not exactly match it, but it's getting there. After you make something like this, you won't ever re-affix your units again. If myself were to make something like this, I'll be pretty happy and set until NGS comes out probably. Now, how do you make this unit? It's actually very simple. But first, you need to decide on which glare you want. If you play a class that mainly uses melee and range weapons, use Mitra Glare. If you play a class that mainly uses melee and tech weapons, use Varuna Glare. If you play a class that mainly uses range and tech weapons, use Shiva Glare. Next, we also need 2 lesser stat 5. One must be of attack type, like lesser might 5, or lesser precision 5, or lesser casting 5. The other, because we are going for more PP, not health, we will be using lesser spirit 5. To make lesser stat 4, you need 3 units from the extreme quest that has the special augment factor of the lesser stat 4. And then you want to enhance those units up to plus 10 to unlock the special augment factor. Now, one might be thinking, now that I have gotten 3 units with lesser spirit 4 special augment factor unlocked because they are plus 10, I can just mash them together to make lesser spirit 5 now, right? No, fortunately that is not the case. You first have to go to Dudu or Monica, affix augment, and you have to put lesser spirit 4 onto your unit. I am not gonna do it here because I do not want to waste it. Doombrick 3. How do we get this? Well, it drops quite commonly in the extreme quest as well, on 13-star units. Not as a special augment factor though. As you can see here, the 4th augment is a grand capsule of your choice. Now, should you not be able to afford grand, well, there is a very good alternative named Graceful. What is Graceful? Well, it's something like this. /3, range and PP /3. You can see down here, it says Graceful Precision. It is only slightly worse than Grand, and it still provides great stats for like a fraction of the cost. Now, one might also think, hey, this isn't 100% chance of success. You'll fail this. Well, to increase this up to 100%, we want to utilize something called the same item bonus. What is the same item bonus? It's a affixing success rate bonus that you get from using units or weapons during the affixing process that all have the same name as fodder and base. Well, to do this, I would suggest putting all of these fodder onto something like a solid barrier unit. Shiva glare or Mitra or Varuna glare usually comes on solid barrier units. And they are fairly cheap on the market. These solid barrier units can be found on a player shop for around 1,000 Meseta each. Or 10,000. It's still fairly cheap. Or very cheap. Well, how do you transfer Shiva glare to a solid barrier unit? Well, you have your junk solid barrier unit here, and then you have 2 Shiva glares for the max percentage of transferring Shiva glare. Just use a 30% augmentation aid because if you fail, you only lose like basically nothing. For Doombreak 3, you want to use 3 Doombreak 3 units and 1 solid barrier unit as usual. With a 30% augmentation aid, it'll be at 100%. You could only choose to use 2 Doombreak spotters like this. But it will only be 50% without an augmentation aid, and with a 40% augmentation aid, it'll be 90%. It's up to you if you want to gamble or not. Now, to transfer lesser spirit or lesser stat 4 to another unit, I wouldn't really suggest doing that. I would just suggest when making lesser stat 5, you use a solid barrier unit as the base and the 3 lesser stat 4 units as the fodder. As you can see here, this unit will be the solid barrier and these will be the fodder with lesser spirit 4. And then, should you succeed, boom, you have a lesser stat 5 unit with... Now, should you succeed, you have a solid barrier with a lesser stat 5. Now, once we click the same item bonus, you can see that everything is at 97%. But there's still a chance of failure. How do we increase this up to 100%? Well, you want to use an augmentation 45% aid. Honestly, these are so common nowadays. Like, you can pull up the mission badge swap shop. You can pull up the mission badge, and you can see right here already 145% augmentation aid. These also come often from completing story missions and title rewards. There isn't really any point into saving them, especially when this augment or this build is something that once you finish it, you won't ever touch your units again. What's the stats on this base 4 slot? Well, you can see here. Now, this is it. How do we make this measly 4 slot go to this? Well, you want to use the mission badge capsule, which can be found under Franca's Cafe in the shopping plaza. The NPC is Swap Shop Specialist Camille. You go to Mission Badge Swap Shop, and you can see here, for 120 mission badges each, you can get add Astral Soul, add Aether Factor, and add Mana Reverie. These are one of the best augments in the game, and what people who will be making a 4 slot Guardian Soul God unit will be using as well to upslot to 8. Now, once you get a capsule, you want to head over to Doodoo. And you want to click Transfer Augments. First, you want to select a 5 slot junk unit, and then you select, let's say this is the 4 slot base unit we just made. Now, you want to select this, and then let's say this is a mission badge capsule. Click it, and then select the other 4 augments, and then click confirm, and then after that, click yes. This 4 to 5 upslot will cost 15 augment transfer. Now, after you have done that, you now have a 5 slot with whatever mission badge capsule you have used. Now you want to select a 6 slot junk item, or unit, and then you want to choose a different mission badge capsule than the one you have already used. And then you select the 6 augments. Now that you have made that 5 slot, you want to upslot to 6 slot. How do we do that? Well, it's the same thing, except first you select a junk 6 slot unit, and then you take, let's say this was our 5 slot unit. You click it, you take a different mission badge capsule than the one you have already used, click it, and then you click your other 5 augments. Confirm, and this will cost 25 augment transfer passes. Now, after you have made your 6 slot, we want to skip going to 7 slots and just straight to 8 if we can. How do we do that? Well, you want to select the 8 slot unit with a SSA, such as S6 Guardian Shield or S7 or S8, depending on what unit you're dealing with. So I'm going to take my back unit as an example. So we're going to select my back unit at 8 slots with a SSA, proceed, and then we want to select our base 6 slot unit that we have just made. And here, you want to select a mission badge capsule different than the ones you have already used. You want to select a mission badge capsule different than the one you have already used. And as you can see, the SSA and that capsule takes up 2 slots, and that increases us from 6 slots to 8 slots. Select everything, and this will cost 100 augment transfer passes. Now, you might be thinking, wait, what if I don't have enough augment transfer passes? What do I do? Well, you don't have to necessarily make an 8 slot unit. You could totally just go from 4 to 5 slots, and then 5 to 7 slots, and then boom, just stay there. Or you could just go straight from 4 slots to 6 slots. It depends on the person making the unit.